Before we deconstruct the brutal mathematical reality of why your flawless corporate performance is actively engineering your own termination, I have exactly three critical questions for you to answer in the comments below. Number one, are you currently celebrating a top tier performance review completely blind to the structural reality that your peak efficiency is merely generating the perfect, clean training data for an algorithms to replace you? Number two, do you understand the lethal mathematical difference between executing linear 10% annual growth as a biological doer versus surviving in a 10x cognitive economy as an orchestrator of deep logic architecture? Number three, when an LLM 7 autonomous agent audits your workflow tonight, will it flag you as an indispensable high friction strategic anomaly, or will it map your predictable excellence and mark you for immediate integration? Let me know your answer. For those who are new, I'm Dr. HR. I approach the global labor and capital market not with emotional comforting advice, but as a cold, structural, algorithmic system. I hold a PhD in human resources, a master's from prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences in Mumbai, and a bachelor's in computer engineering. Operating on the ground here in Dubai since 2010, consulting for Tier 1 corporate entities, sovereign wealth funds, and apex tech founders across the Middle East and India, I monitor exactly how global talent acquires maximum leverage and how obsolete ambition destroys executive value. The market does not reward you for doing your job perfectly. It rewards absolute, uncompromising structural evolution. The ultimate goal of every corporate professional has always been peak efficiency. You want to be the top performer, the flawless executor, the employee who never makes a mistakes. In June 2026, that exact behavior is a terminal threat to your survival. Your current high performance is actually your career grave. By perfecting your manual cognitive workflow, you are unknowingly creating the ultimate training template for an AI orchestrator. The traditional career ladders has become a horizontal treadmill leading directly towards a structural cliff. Before I completely dismantle the illusion of the top performer, expose the exact architecture of your algorithmic replacement, and give you the precise blueprint to pivot towards high entropy problem solving and strategic inefficiency, hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell. I post daily videos showing you exactly how to navigate the global labor and capital market using cold, hard engineering logic. You do not want to miss these execution protocols. Stop optimizing yourself into irrelevance. Start engineering your friction. Grab a notebook. It is time to audit your excellence. Phase 1, the trap of a peak efficiency, the flawless victim. We must first diagnose the exact debilitating economic illusion that paralyzes the upper tier intellectual workforce from Bangalore to Silicon Valley. For the last century, the corporate contract was simple. If you execute your task faster with fewer errors and greater efficiency than your peer, you are rewarded with promotion, bonuses, and absolute job security. You were taught to achieve the flow state, a zone of uninterrupted, highly predictable, hyper efficient output. In 2026, being the top performer under this legacy framework is a high risk data signal for replacement. Why? Because of the fundamental physics of machine learning. Artificial intelligence does not learn from chaos, it learns from optimized patterns. If you are a disorganized, chaotic employee whose workflow makes no logical sense, an AI screening tool struggles to map your role. But if you are an apex executor, if you have engineered the perfect streamlined HR onboarding process, or if you write flawless, perfectly syntaxed Python code, or if you format financial compliance report with zero deviation, you have achieved absolute mathematical legibility. You have done the hardest part of an automation process for the machine. You have cleaned. The profound irony of a 2026 labor market is that by perfecting your manual cognitive workflow, you are serving yourself up on a silver platter to the enterprise architecture. You are no longer an employee, you are an open source training template. The algorithms do not need to guess how to do your job. They simply ingest your flawless execution logs, map the linear dependencies, and replicate your output at a million times your biological speed. The traditional career ladders you are attempting to climb by being a good worker have collapsed. They are now horizontal treadmills. You are running as fast as you can, generating the metric that the chief financial officer will use to justify your termination at the end of the Q3. Phase 2, the architecture of your replacement, the LLM 7 audit. To survive this invisible, you must understand exactly how the machine evaluates your daily operation. We must look at the architecture of your replacement. We are no longer dealing with basic chatbot. We are dealing with advanced LLM 7 agents and neural task movers. These are background autonomous enterprise systems designed to execute continuous real-time value stream mapping across the corporate network. These agents monitor your digital exhaust, your keystrokes, your software interaction, your decision latency. They are actively hunting for optimized roles for immediate integration. When you enter a flow state and produce consistent, high-quality output, you trigger an algorithmic flag. The neural task mover measures the input, the data you receive, the output, the sanitized report you deliver. If the transformation between input and the output relies on predictable set of rules, heuristics, or standardized corporate logic, the system mathematically calculates the elasticity of substitution. If the cost of the API tokens required to execute your logic drops below the cost of your daily salary, you are structurally dead. You must move beyond the legacy framework of being a doer takes pride in completing of a task. The modern corporate machine views a doer as a biological API that is temporarily bridging a gap until the silicon API is deployed. If you define your professional identity by sheer volume of tasks you complete efficiently, you are actively volunteering to become a data point for an algorithm. Phase 3, the non-linear shift, the 10x intelligence economy. We must ruthlessly attack the psychological anchor that keeps high performers trapped. The belief in linear progression. The traditional career model sold you the idea of 10% annual growth. If you get 10% better at your job, increase your output by 10%, and secure a 10% raise, you are succeeding. In a 10x intelligence economy driven by exponential algorithmic scaling, a 10% linear growth is a mathematical failure. While you're trying to type 10% faster, the machine is scaling in its processing by the power of 10,000%. You cannot out-execute an exponential math with a linear biology. We must understand the absolute divide between executing tasks and orchestrating systemic value. Let us look at the real-world example from India-UAE execution grid. Take a high-level HR process expert operating in the Global Capability Center, the GCC, in Bangalore. For 3 years, they meticulously optimized the recruitment cycle time, creating standard operating procedures, the SOP, flawless interview rubrics, and predictable onboarding matrices. They received an exceed expectation rating. 6 months later, the company deployed a multi-agent AI workflow that ingested those exact as automating 80% of the recruitment pipeline. The HR expert optimized themselves into irrelevance because they remained at the execution layer. Take a tier 1 financial compliance analyst in Dubai International Finance Center, DIFC. They perfected the regulatory reporting structure for cross-border UAE-India capital flow. Their Excel models were legendary. Their data was perfectly clean. They were laid off in Q1 because a FinOps AI agent ingested their perfect models and now execute the compliance audit in 4.2. The fatal flaw of this high performer is believing that the company pays you for your effort. The company only pays for the outcome. If you build a system that guarantees the outcome without your effort, the corporation will gladly keep the system and discard you. Phase 4, strategic inefficiency and creative friction. If peak efficiency is a trap, what is a survival mechanism? You must execute a violent contrarian pivot. You must transition away from repeatable excellence and intentionality, embrace the strategic inefficiency and high-entropy problem-solving. As if artificial intelligence models are statistical prediction engine. They thrive on low-entropy, highly predictable data. They collapse when subject to high-entropy, chaotic, non-linear realities. To secure your professional anti-fragility, you must aggressively colonize the domains of untrainable human skills. These are the gritty, high-friction environment that current agentic models cannot simulate or predict. You must transition from a high-performance worker into a strategic architect of deep logic architectures. A deep logic architect does not just optimize the recruitment onboarding pipeline, they step into the boardroom and navigate the messy, irrational, human, ego driven politics that prevents the engineering department from talking to the marketing department. An AI cannot read the terrified micro expression of a vice president whose budget is being slashed. An AI cannot leverage deep biological empathy to manipulate a hostile negotiation in real time. You must intentionally introduce creative friction into your value stream. Hand your boss a paradigm shifting question that reframes the entire premise of a report. Challenge the baseline assumption. Drive the conversation into a chaotic edge cases where corporate policies fails and the human judgment is absolute. When you operate in the realms of a strategic inefficiency, wrestling with massive unstructured problems that have no clear historical data to train an AI on, you become mathematically invisible to the neural task mover. The algorithm cannot audit you because your output is not a predictable task. It is a architectural synthesis. Phase 5. Future proofing through radical evolution. The final phase of your survival requires the complete destruction of your professional identity. To build a career moat in 2026, you must abandon a deep niche specialization. As we have established, if your niche is too deep and too clean, LLM will ingest it. You must secure your leverage through cross-disciplinary synthesis. The ultimate sovereign operator sits at the intersection of a conflicting domain. You do not just know human resources, you combine your PhD-level behavioral psychology with hard technical Oracle SCM deployment and advanced cybersecurity compliance. You build a bridge between the silicon execution layer and the biological human reality. An AI can know all the facts in those three domains, but it cannot organically synthesize them. To navigate the cultural nuances of an Emirati wealth funds merging with an Indian manufacturing conglomerate, you must leverage AI tools to destroy your own current job description before the market does it for you. This is the ultimate alpha move. You look at your optimized workflow, you deploy your own personal AI agent to automate 80% of your daily tasks. But instead of telling your employer, you capture the reclaimed cognitive bandwidth. You can use those freed hours to step into a CEO's office and propose a massive non-linear structural overhaul for a failing business unit. You are no longer the top performer of a legacy task. You are the orchestrator of the machine. Your new roadmap for survival is prioritizing a rapid adaptation over terminal comfort. The moment you feel comfortable in your role, the moment your day becomes highly predictable and perfectly efficient, the alarm bell must ring in your mind. Comfort is a biometric signal that you are standing in the algorithmic kill zone. You must constantly seek out the broken system, the chaotic human disputes, and the undocumented edge cases. You must thrive in the fire of structural evolution. Phase 6. The architect of momentum. Look closely at the performance review you're so proud of. Look at the flawless spreadsheets, the perfectly tracked KPI, and a highly optimized daily routine that defines your 9 to 5 existence. It is an illusion of safety. You're polishing the brass on a sinking ship. The 2026 automated economy is completely unforgiving to a predictable executor. If you continue to believe that doing your job perfectly guarantees your survival, you are actively participating in your own economic execution. The market does not care how efficient you are at a task that a machine can do for a fraction of a cent. It only cares about your ability to navigate the unautomatable, chaotic friction of reality. Stop optimizing yourself into irrelevance. Destroy your own job description. Pivot to a high-entropy synthesis. Architect the deep logic of your enterprise and force the global economy to pay you an absolute uncapped premium for your undeniable machine-proof sovereignty. Process the data, execute the strategy, and I will see you at the top.